If you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, you've got to find a way to stop Tony Dorsett. Trouble is, few, if any, teams are ever able to cope with this brilliant runner who is off to a simply tremendous start this season. And then, if you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, you've got to find a way to handle their fearsome front four, led by one of the extraordinary players in the game, Randy White. But if you're going to beat the New England Patriots, a team still loaded with fine personnel, then you've got the problem of dealing with one of the most punishing linebackers in football, Steve Nelson. And the Pats, they have two quarterbacks, either one of whom can be very effective on a given occasion. Grogan, for instance, will often throw to the successor to Russ Francis, the huge tight end, Don Hasselbeck, while Kavanaugh likes to use the speed of his wide receivers. And in that case, he did just that, throwing to Harold Jackson, still a great one. Tonight, the Cowboys against the Pats.
From Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. ABC's Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys against the New England Patriots. A well-oiled machine, except Tony Dorsett is playing perhaps the best football of his entire life. Tom Landry doesn't leave much unthought about. He never has over his career. Don Meredith can tell you a lot about that. And one of the men who's been the architect of this Dallas Cowboy team is his special assistant, Ermal Allen, in charge of development and all kinds of statistical matters. And anytime Tom wants some information, he goes to Ermal Allen. And right now, Don Meredith is with him.
Thank you a lot, Frank, and I am with Ermal Allen, who's an old pal of mine. You were my backfield coach. And Ermal, you're up here in the booth during the game. Basically, what do you guys do, and how are you trying to put this information together where you can get it down to the club?
Well, when we're on offense, we look at every defense they use, the line defense and the coverage, and we chart it. And then when they're on offense, we chart every play that they run, every pass or run on formation sheets.
Ermal, I know you see a lot of information, look at a lot of film. Your job in evaluating personnel not only for your club, but for the clubs that you play. Coming here in New England, they've got good personnel. We've heard about that for a long time. How do you think that New England will try to attack you, Dallas's defense?
Don, I really think that they're going to try to run wide, number one, and then secondly, I believe that they will attack our young secondary. They've got great personnel, and I believe that's the way they'll go about it.
You've got some of those. How do you think, then this is turning around, how are you guys going to attack their defense?
Well, actually, our philosophy doesn't change. We use a multiple formation set, a lot of movement, and we've got to attack their man-to-man coverage because they use 50% man-to-man on passing down, which is extremely high for any team, Don.
All right, Coach, they're out there. Let's get it going. Frank, you take it away, and we're going to have a good ball game.
All right, Tom, and we already know anytime you're trying to cover the wide receivers of Dallas man-to-man, Butch Johnson, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, you're in a whole lot of deep trouble. The Patriots in deep trouble on their season already. They're 0-2, and of course Miami in their division off to a great start. They're 3-0. John Smith will get the proceedings underway for New England, set to kick off. And now it's Mike Hubach is out there. And James Jones, who has had a pulled groin in preseason, has just returned one kickoff this season, is back deep. Last year was the prime return man for the Cowboys, who have not been noted over the years as a great special unit team on kick returns. Hubach. Not a good kick. Flag is down as Jones bobbles the ball at the 12-yard line, hustles to it. And it was not a flag. It was just a yellow piece of cloth that had blown onto the field on a beautiful night for football in Foxborough. Temperature 59 degrees. Howard told you, sellout crowd has been that way for some time. And there is no question the Cowboys are the NFL draw.
All right, quickly we'll get a chance to see what Ermal Allen talked about with Don Meredith. The point to that interview to set a kind of storyline for you, and it was done very effectively. Let's see how quickly Danny White goes at the one-on-one coverage.
And we'll tell you, too, about the offensive line changes for the Cowboys. If you're very familiar with this club, it is different. Ron Springs piled up, line of scrimmage. maybe even lost a yard. It'll be second down and 11, and the offensive changes are with an injury to the regular starting center, Robert Shaw. We will have Tom Rafferty at center. Kurt Peterson, a second-year man out of Missouri the Cowboys are really high on, will be at right guard. He wears number 65. And Jim Cooper, who filled in at center a week ago, has moved back to right tackle. Jim Cooper, very fine offensive blocking tackle, back where he belongs. Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, Drew Pearson, the three wide receivers in for the Cowboys. Play is stopped with the whistle just before the snap. Something was thrown out onto the field, and now it is being removed.
One of the astonishing things I found today, spending the day as I did with the Patriots, is their confidence against this team. Now, they're going to have to prove it on the field, but they know their personnel is far better than their current record.
What they really must do is stop the running game of Dallas. It's been sensational. They have a good blocking offensive line. The Patriots have thus far in 2 games become the weakest team in the NFL against the run, and you better believe that Tom took note of it as he prepared for this game. We will see a lot of Tony Dorsett and a young man who's really coming on, Ron Springs.
There he is.
Tony Dorsett. Right side, short of the first down, out near the 25-yard line by about 2 yards. Tackled there by Mike Hawkins. Number 59 for the New England Patriots. There he is. They really would like to have Larry McGrew in there, but he's up with knee surgery.
It's a good look at a big hole. You got Ron Springs is leading the way up in there. I don't know whether you noticed that stat on Dorsett a while ago, but 7.1 is an average per carry. That's almost an amazing
thing. It is huge.
Yeah.
And they're going against the 34 defense.
Third down and 2. Billy Joe Dupree, the tight end, split to the right and out of the shotgun. Danny White, a lot of confidence, throws it out into the flat to Ron Springs. He is taken out there, and it will not be a Cowboy first down. Good defensive play. Don Blackman out there. Getting help from Ray Claiborne.
You can see them, Frank. They're all hopped up. They're looking like a George Allen team just before an Allen defeat. I'll never forget the way the Redskins came out against Miami for the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute.
They jumped all over one another. And Burt Reynolds was with me, and he said, they're going to kill Miami. They never laid a glove on them.
I see.
Roland James, you had a quick look. For the Patriots at his own 30, Danny White, who doubles in brass for Cowboys, says he doesn't mind. Tom would like to have him out of there. But Danny kind of likes to punt, and he gets a high, towering, booming kick that will freeze Roland James with the fair catch at the New England Patriots 32-yard line, where out will come the offensive units of a very charged New England Patriot unit, led by Matt Cavanaugh. We've already talked to you about Matt Cavanaugh. He came in last week against the Eagles. He didn't have any better luck than Steve Grogan did in the first half. Cavanaugh had 2 interceptions. Grogan had 3. But 2 of Grogan's interceptions occurred just as he was being hit by Eagle defenders. First down and 10. The Patriots just out of their own 31-yard line. Here's Cavanaugh in his 4th year, of course, out of Pittsburgh. Jackson is split left. Stanley Morgan in the lineup. Cavanaugh, his first shot, goes out to Harold Jackson. Harold Jackson's 2nd reception of the season. That's hard to believe, but they have not hit their wide receivers as this New England team in the first 2 games.
But as we pointed out in our opening tonight, Frank, it's Cavanaugh who likes to use those wide receivers, and tonight they've got number 86 back, Stanley Morgan, one of the very best in the business. Look at those people. Now, Michael Down is very young, out of Rice, a rookie, and the hopes for him are very high in the Dallas team.
And, of course, he's coming off a pulled hamstring in the very first game. He's back in the lineup, and that is questionable how long he'll be able to stay in there. Measurement from the reverse side of the field with a camera across the field showing you how close, and it will be brought out. Second down, just inches to go, and we spoke of Stanley Morgan, and both Grogan and Cavanaugh have not had Stanley Morgan, their best receiver, in their first 2 games. They have not, of course, had Russ Francis, who retired before the season. Their leading runner a year ago, Vegas Ferguson, has not been available, so maybe you can defend the lack of offensive punch by this unit just from loss of personnel.
Well, Dandy, I don't think Vegas is going to get a lot of work because Tony Collins is taking over, the rookie.
That's what the coaches were telling us. They think he's terrific. He's got in there. I'm sure if Vegas were healthy, though, it's like Ermel was saying to me earlier. He said he thinks that really Dallas may have advantage in overall depth, and that's the situation. If you got Vegas Ferguson not healthy, that could hurt. You know, so what if something happens to Collins?
Single set book is Calhoun. Second inches. Jackson the motion. Calhoun, easy first down. He's driven back. Michael Downs coming up from the safety position, make the stop, but he's well over the line of scrimmage. And that, of course, what he needed for the first.
You've seen Calhoun through all the years. Often we've identified him, Frank, as an in-betweener. Not big enough for a fullback, and yet too big, really, and not swift enough for a tailback. And still, he makes it work. He puts things together. Ron Earhart, beleaguered.
From the New England 43 on 1st and 10, Kavanaugh fires a good shot under heavy pressure. It goes out to Stanley Morgan, working against Steve Wilson. Stanley Morgan, Howard spoke to you a moment ago. He's been out for the last preseason game, the first 2 season games, and he is wearing a knee brace on his left knee.
I think this is a thing that the Cowboys expected, but you know, you can expect it, you still got to stop it. And I think Stanley Morgan's sheer presence does make a big deal. That time he had Wilson turning and running deep, and you turn those things off, he's wide open. Not particularly good coverage that time.
He has great speed. You have to respect it if you're a cornerback. That time Wilson was in single coverage. First down and 10. The ball near the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. Jackson, top of your screen. Tony Collins. The rookie second-round draft pick out of East Carolina, taken there by Charlie Waters from the secondary of the Cowboys. Maybe a yard pickup. It'll be second down and 9.
One thing I'd never do against Dallas with their flex defense geared for the run. Don't run on them in first or second down. Pass on them. It's the only way you got a shot against this team.
Not a bad record. Tom Landry, the 3rd winningest coach in the history of this game.
Not only that, he's got a new hat.
14 times in the playoffs out of the last 15 years. Remarkable record. Second and 9. Collins, right side.
Good coverage that time. Charlie Waters coming up. Good pursuit down the line with Too Tall, I guess it was, coming in from the inside. Pretty good defensive coverage.
Gain of maybe a yard.
But that's proof of why you don't run against this team on first and second down. They're geared for the run. They have every angle using the flex defense, a yard or 2 off the line of scrimmage, 2 of the 4, and you just don't do it. And that was a mistake right there, the last 2 plays.
Third down and 9. Tough situation. Cowboys, 6 defensive backs in.
Frank, they've got the 5-down lineman. And
Kavanaugh out of the shotgun, going deep. It'll be picked off by Everson Walls.
there's one of your rookies.
From Grambling. And Walls returns it out close to the 25-yard line. And here's a youngster that led the nation in interceptions a year ago at Grambling. He was not drafted. The Cowboys, as they always are always around these good players. They know all about him.
I'm sorry, Frank. You have to wonder how Everson Walls was a free agent. Everybody knows the history of Grambling University, and this kid in the last 3 preseason games had an intercept in each game. He had an intercept in the opening game of the season, and in the second game he had a clear intercept, and the receiver stole the ball from him.
So Everson Walls turns it around, and the Cowboys will have a first down and 10. The ball at their own 25-yard line when we come back. Massachusetts. Jay Saldi in the lineup. First down and 10 for the Cowboys. Hugh Pearson up at the top of your screen. Inside handoff. Ron Rangier, gaping opening, and Springs out of the 35, or close to that as they mark it now. Inside the 35, very close to a Cowboy first down. Ray Claiborne tripped him up.
That kid has the capacity to be a great player, Don. A track star at Ohio State, overlooked in the draft, but not by Gil Brandt. There's Steve Grogan in a Terry Bradshaw posture, but not with Bradshaw's record.
First down and 10. Springs and Dorsett, the 2 setbacks, back into the I formation. Inside handoff. Springs once again, another opening behind Herbert Scott and Tom Rafferty. Gain of 3.
You know, I hear these guys that say, oh, he runs a 4.5 40, or he runs it. That's hard to relate to. You know, I don't know what does that really mean. I asked Al Lavin, who's the coach is the running back. I said, Al, how far does Tony Dorsett outrun Springs on a 40? He says, not even a yard.
Springs
has got that same kind of speed. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's also fast.
On second down, Danny White, play action. Finds the open man. Ron Springs did not hold on. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know. I don't believe in that 40-yard speed test. Giffer was never the fastest man on the field, but I never saw anybody do more things, really. They're proclaimed 5 years late by Sports Illustrated as the greatest lineman in the game. Everybody knew it for 5 years. John Hanna.
I thought you were talking about Gifford. Wait a minute, I was not telling the Gifford story.
I thought I missed something.
No, the Giffer he could do it all, and he didn't have the speed.
Oh, okay.
On 3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Danny White, right on target. Tony Dorsett has the first down up at the 47-yard line.
You saw him blitz a safety man that time. Nothing really, I guess, causes more. We'll take another look. Coming back in the middle. You see him, safety blitz. That's Roland James coming, the 5th back that comes in. Well, they blitz a safety with no results. That's really a very depressing thing for a defense to go into. They say, hey, we've got this thing sacked. We're going to throw a safety at you. And be able to get it off to Dorsett, pick up a first down. That makes him think about that particular defensive move.
Tony, not only the leading rusher in the NFL coming into tonight after 2 games, the leading receiver for the Cowboys, S.J. Saldi. Mr. Everything, number 87, Dorsett.
Look at that move.
Bouncing off a Patriot. When you tackle Dorsett, you better really stick him and use the arms, or he'll be gone. Mike Haynes finally settles things, but not until Dorsett has advanced to the 47 on New England.
Rod Schode, I think it was, that hit him back in behind the line of scrimmage, and that was a beautiful move, just roll off to the side.
And Rod Schode is an excellent tackler with great range. I was with the kid today. It's amazing the way his body has grown bigger and stronger.
He must be eating well. He's eating well.
There was a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. Reed Pearson out to the right. White gets the blitz, but he gets the pass off beautifully to Ron Springs.
Now, Danny paid for that one, but he did get it off. He did a little.
Well, he's dumping off to the backs beautifully, exactly the way to handle it.
You don't pick it up. As Arnold did mention, this team does play a lot of man-to-man. And of course, when you're going to blitz these linebackers, you see them coming right there. That automatically puts you into the man-to-man coverage. You didn't see Danny get hit after the throw, but you also see Rod Springs has got a good step on Steve Nelson out there.
They talked about the speed of Springs. He has that. That time, running away from perhaps the best linebacker on the ball club, Steve Nelson. The first down is near the 40-yard line of New England. Dallas, they show you so many formations. Springs. Another Dallas first down inside the 30.
They're just showing up the yardage, Don.
There's a comment last year. They talk about, well, Ron Springs, they say, doesn't really like to block. And Ron says, wait a minute, I'm a running back, and I don't know of any real, blocking is one of those kind of like playing center. You never do hear from him too much. But he and Tony Dorsett have gotten this thing worked out where they're blocking very well for each other. That time you saw Dorsett go in motion, then lead the block downfield. He didn't throw a devastating block, but he did at least occupy the cornerback.
Blocker is somewhat like Paul Revere's horse.
Right, who knows Paul Revere's horse's name?
On 1st and 10. 28-yard line. White to the air again. Quickly to Springs. We'll see a clip as Billy Joe Dupree was doubling back, and what a wasted penalty this will be. There was no question that would be a clip.
Yeah, Billy Joe just got out of step, as he'd say. Something happened. One of the interesting things, is they're not picking up all of the rushing defensive players right now. Every time somebody's loose, so White hasn't had much time to look over that defensive secondary.
Jerry Markwright is the referee tonight. Here is the staff. All of the NFL officials, of course, busy in other professions.
Number 89, offense, first down.
All against Billy Joe Dupree. staff of Jerry Markwright.
If you clip, but Joe, you come over and stand by Tom for a while. Don't you know that?
Down remains the same. Boy. Butch Johnson in, Tony Hill is in, Drew Pearson. Cowboys, if they hold up to form, will work on pieces of it. They won't go for all of it. That's Dorsett, upended. Good defensive play on the right side by Schote, who had to be thinking pass. And the Cowboys came with run. Good play.
That's the kid we were talking about. The weight, it's not 215 anymore. It's more than that. That's a program rate.
All right, you got also look a move. There's Julius Adams, number 85. He's coming in there. Schultz, the one that meets that blocker. You got a lot of help from that inside, coming over the inside. Richard Bishop, number 64, the nose tackle. And that's the coordinated defense. If you're going to play the 3-down lineman, you've got to get a lot of coordination with those linebackers and those guys in pursuit.
Second down, 26. Danny White back again. He'll feel the pressure. This time it was intended. Dorsett with the screen. And Dorsett back to the original line of scrimmage, close to the 28, where it'll be 3rd and 10. Mike Haynes defensively.
What a beautiful, graceful runner. He is in the running back position what Lynn Swan is to the wide receiving position. Absolute grace, acrobatic, you know.
Does that make him practically perfect?
Yes.
This is a practically perfect team, as a matter of fact. Danny White is practically perfect at the quarterback position, and Tony Dorsett is practically perfect at the outs. Look at that little move. Got to the outside.
Dorsett out of the backfield. Ron Springs will be the single setback. The 3 wide receivers, Pearson, Dupree, Johnson, are all there. 3rd and 11. Danny White going deep into the end zone. And taken there with a beautiful leaping catch by Butch Johnson. In a battle for the starting honors with Tony Hill, and Butch has been great now for 2 weeks in a row.
And that's what you call non-aggression in a defensive back. He had the play covered totally, and he stood there and he let Butch steal it from him. Watch again. Total non-aggression.
Well, he's one of the best to ever play this game at the cornerback. Mike Haynes.
Mike Haynes thought he had himself an interception. He was sitting there waiting for it. Let's look again. Look at Mike Haynes, number 40. He's back in the end zone. Butch makes an adjustment right at the end of this pattern. That really is a spectacular adjustment. Watch him come in front of Haynes, and that's an interception for a touchdown. Good move, Butch.
Well, I don't care how great Haynes is. He blew that.
Raphael Septien for the conversion. The Cowboys had a first down and 26. They worked it back to a 3rd and 10, and then Danny White threw a strike that Butch Johnson actually made the strike with a great leaping reception in the end zone. The Cowboys on top.
Yep.
5:19 remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys on the scoreboard first. They lead New England 7-0. Septien will kick it off. Tony Collins, the rookie from East Carolina, settled in about his 2-yard line. Septien ordinarily doesn't kick it too deep. He'll get a little height on it. High. Collins settles in at the 10. And down goes Collins up at the 21-yard line, hustling down Kurt Peterson, who made a start tonight at right guard for the Cowboys.
And a man to be watched for the long-term future. Kurt Peterson out of the University of Missouri, where he's defensive lineman. Now, on offense, according to the Cowboy coaches, he is probably the most developing player on the club.
New England had moved the ball well on their first drive before the interception by Everson Walls of a Matt Cavanaugh pass. Matt Cavanaugh, again, the quarterback, having replaced Steve Grogan in the starting role tonight. Here's Calhoun. Calhoun with a fine attempt out over the 25-yard line to the 26. Pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Bob Bruni defensively. We point out the Cowboys are playing without Mike Hegman at left linebacker. Guy Brown, a great athlete, number 59, is in there. The Cowboys think he has potential to become an all-pro. He's had little injuries that have bothered him over the past 4 years. He has a great opportunity. 2nd and 5. Cavanaugh. Intended for our Harold Jackson. Steve Wilson defensively, the ball with no zip.
Wilson came in there and made a pretty good move that time from his cornerback position. Played him pretty well. He had a step. Ball could have been thrown up a little bit more.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Frank said no zip, which is true, but he didn't have touch either.
Third down, a little more than 4 to go. The ball just over the 26-yard line. The specialty teams that you see now with all ball clubs coming in on the pass situation.
Frank, this is kind of an interesting situation. Again, you got those 5 down linemen, and Anthony Dickerson is extremely gifted athlete.
Kavanaugh going deep. Hasselbeck wide open.
Turned him around.
Down at the 35-yard line. Dennis Thurman defensively for the Cowboys, but with 6 defensive backs. Thurman was all alone with Hasselbeck.
Makes you wonder how it gets open, doesn't it? Because they've really got him. They got 5 linemen coming. There's Dutton coming in there pretty good. He just turned him around out there. Somebody made a mistake. And that's Dennis Thurman, number 32, that came in. Now, this is the reverse angle from the other side of the field. Same picture. You see Thurman, number 32. We didn't see him get turned around, but he did get turned around a little bit. Hasselbeck made a pretty good move to the outside. Thurman closed pretty fast and knocked him out of bounds, but not until he made a first down, a big first down.
Hasselbeck has that great speed. He has height at 6'7", and he can get deep on you surprisingly quickly. First down, 10. Calhoun, left side, inside the 30. Nice pickup. 6 or 7 yards.
2 series in a row. They've run against the flex on first down and made it work. Each time Calhoun. I'll give him credit for that.
Well, we got word down to Earhart. He said we told him if you're going to run on first down for him to pick up more yardage, because running on first down, we've got that. Randy White missed him in the backfield that time. You may have seen a Dallas Cowboy come in there close and get a hand on him back in the backfield. That was Randy White, the guy that you always have to contend with up in the middle of that line. He didn't make him and didn't tackle him, and D.D. White did.
New England has called timeout. Confusion on the field. Matt Kavanaugh will drift over to the sidelines, visit with the coaching staff, and we'll be back in a moment.
National Security Advisor Richard Allen defends AWAC said.
Steve Ovett.
Second down and 4 for New England. They've moved the ball well. Jackson in motion. Tony Collins, left side, another big gaping hole as Bob Bruning had to make the save.
D.D. Lewis knows that that's really his job to contain that. He came in, met a pretty good block head on. That was Don Calhoun who threw the block.
There's a young man down to the super in Cree. We saw him in the final preseason game against Washington. Tony Collins, I'm referring to. They got him in the second round as a second-round pick, but he can do everything.
Good acceleration that time through the hole. He moved very quickly there.
Again, the leading rusher for New England, unavailable, Vegas Ferguson. They say he has a sore ankle and is ready to play tonight. On first down. Kavanaugh with a lot of time. A man is wide open, Hasselbeck. Again, Steve Wilson playing way off Hasselbeck at this point. And Hasselbeck has a first and goal to go inside the 10.
How did he get out there so open? He started in the backfield, went in motion so many times.
New England's famous for its tight ends, the ability to go short and yet to go deep. He succeeded Russ Francis. A lot of people speculated up here in New England that part of the reason, as you look at that replay, for Francis's holdout was to enable Hasselbeck to get more money. Not true. Francis wound up retiring.
First down, goal to go. Mosi Tatupu. Down around the 5-yard line.
That kid's a player from your school, Frank, USC. Mosi Tatupu. All week long, because of the injury to Wilbert Montgomery, I learned today that the Eagles have been calling Bucko Kilroy, trying to get Mosi Tatupu, and the Pats won't let him go. Montgomery may be out 4 weeks.
We might also mention that Sam Cunningham has been working out with the ball club. He has not been activated. He, of course, missed all of last year. Big bruising fullback for New England. It's second down and goal to go. Calhoun. Touchdown.
Good move by Calhoun.
Out to the outside when nothing was doing in the middle of the line.
Interesting offensive set that time. 2 wide receivers way out left. Bull Dallas's defense. Calhoun saw the middle was blocked up, bounced to the outside, had enough speed to do it. Here's Calhoun. The play is designed to go straight. He made his little move to the outside. Dede lost his footing, went to the outside and scored.
So 2 long drives. Dallas used up 4 minutes and 2 seconds. They went 75 yards. New England has now gone 79 yards in a little over 3.5 minutes. John Smith for the conversion. Matt Cavanaugh, the holder. And we've got a tied football game. The Cowboys 2-0 on the season. New England 0-2. And Don Calhoun has put them on the scoreboard. We'll be right back. Drive. Finally engineered by Matt Cavanaugh. And we've got a tied football game. John Smith set to kick it off. James Jones is deep for the Dallas Cowboys at the goal line. There he is. Transfer out of Mississippi State now in his second year. Kobash. And the ball goes into the end zone. Timmy Newsom is there as there was no communication between Newsom and James Jones. That ball could have been run back.
Lack of communication within the organization causes screw-ups every time. I said that.
At the 20-yard line following the touchback. Miami 3-0 in New England's division. Buffalo 2-1. Baltimore 1-2. They beat New England on the opening day of the season. New England, of course, 0-2. The Jets are 0-3. The NFC East, the division of the Cowboys. Philadelphia is 3-0. Dallas, of course, 2-0. The Giants 2-1. The 3 wide receivers: Hill, Johnson, Pearson in the lineup. Play action. White.
Oh, good move.
Tony Hill, who missed all of the preseason. Butch Johnson came in during the preseason, took the job. Butch Johnson doesn't want to give it back. And there's a little bit of feeling going on, if you listen to reports, between Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, and the man in the middle is Tom Landry.
Tom will win, I'll guarantee you. I don't know what the deal is. Frank, that was a good example, again, of what Ermel said. They put the 3 wide receivers in there, and they did get them in a man-to-man coverage, and they had Rick Sanford isolated over that left quarterback. Were able to complete it in front of him for a first down.
The first down is inside the 31-yard line of the Cowboys. Dorsett, starting deep in the backfield, looks it over, and he breaks out close to the 37-yard line. For a gain of 6, it'll be 2nd down and 4. Don with popcorn?
I can't. No, that's surely not popcorn.
The popcorn is shaking.
That's it. Don's cutest of the group. There's no question about that.
Back to Tony Hill, though, even though he was out during the preseason. He has a point in some respects. 120 receptions over the past 2 seasons. 2,000-yard years. He says, I belong in there. Dorsett.
Oh, yeah.
He does it so quickly.
What a leg acceleration. You see him kind of get tackled there, slow down, and just a little more spurt, drag him in, pick up a first down.
What I love about that guy is the way he runs inside, right up the middle.
Take a look here.
Quick.
This is a 3-man straight-ahead block. You got Rafferty, who's the new
That Springs with that block on the line.
Look at Springs' block coming in, cleaning out the hole. That was a nice move. That's what they're doing real well, that combination block.
First down and 10 inside the 46-yard line. Final seconds ticking off first quarter. Danny White going up on top. Tony Hill, the intended receiver, and nicely played by Rick Sanford, one of 4 number-1 draft picks that manned the defensive secondary for New England. There is Rick in his 3rd year out of South Carolina. Has worked at cornerback also. He played there last year when Mike Haynes was late coming into camp, or actually into the season.
Better at safety. Not really enough speed to be an efficient cornerback.
We're going to find out tonight, I got a feeling.
Tony Hill split to the right. That puts Butch Johnson 86, Drew Pearson 88, top of your screen. And we get the draw to Dorsett, who spins to the 50-yard line. That will end the first half. First quarter. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 when we come back to Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Good football game. Stick around and enjoy. 61,000 plus here at Schaefer Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, to watch an 0-2 New England team that's a better football team than that. They lost to Baltimore 29-28 in the opener. They lost to the Eagles 13-3 in a game they could have won. And Dallas, of course, 2-0. They beat Washington and St. Louis in oppressive heat last week at Texas Stadium. Dallas has the football right at midfield, 3rd down and 6, and Danny White quickly into the shotgun. Wide open, Tony Hill. Again, working against Sanford as the New England Patriots will send their men all over the field following designated receivers. Hill has the first down near the 30-yard line.
So far, White has been brilliant. He has only had 2 misses.
Start off with a very comfortable-looking pocket for Danny White to throw in. There's a couple little moves there on the sideline, on the move right in front of Sanford. He'll try to make him commit. He didn't commit. He just used his speed and natural ability to move into the inside. There's no help. Sanford couldn't catch up.
Tom Landry, he will either signal the plays in with the help of John Makovic, a new coach, or he'll send it in via a receiver. First down and 10 for a set in motion. This is Springs with a little screen in front. Well played defensively by New England. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and we'll look at the stats from the first quarter.
Okay, first down's about even. Yards rushing, the edge to Dallas. Passing, the edge to New England. Total yards, not that much of a differential. Time of possession, Dallas. If there's one compelling factor so far, the Pats do not seem to be able defensively to contain the Cowboys. But then, the Cowboys have not been compelling in their efforts to contain the Pats.
Then let me guess, is the
Butch
score
Johnson,
tied?
Drew Pearson split to the left, and Billy Joe Dupree is tightened up on the right side. That's Butch Johnson. An interesting play and an interesting move by Dorsett.
An interesting move in right, Frank. Was that Butch Johnson that came in from the flanker on
Yes, he did.
And he made a block, and that was nice. That was fun.
They do so many things, and it really is tough to prepare for them defensively.
You know, I think
somewhere in the course of a game, you'll break down as you try to cover everything they do.
Raphael stepped in.
yes, indeed.
2 steps to the left.
Sure shot.
A quick step. Boop. There it is.
He's successful on his next field goal. He'll set a Cowboy record of 8 straight.
Yeah, 7 for 7. That's not bad.
3rd down and 5. Tony Hill split to the left. Butch Johnson, 86. Drew Pearson, they're at the top of your screen. Ron Springs is in a wing slot there. Wide open. Springs.
He got it.
First down at the 20-yard line.
He got it.
It's going to be close.
They're looking it over. Springs knew where it was. He got the first down.
First down, Cowboys.
Good football game, mixing it up with the pass and the run.
And the Pats doing their best to put a rush on White, but not successful.
10 of 12, 96 yards is Danny White. He was passing at a little over 62% coming into the game. 2nd in the NFC. Dorsett just deep into the eye. And here he comes. Tripped up. Dorsett tripped up. Ray Hamilton moving across from the nose tackle position. There will be a loss of a yard.
Sugar Bear was there that time. Made a good move.
Sugar Bear or Honey Bear?
Either one. He's a darling, whatever he is. Ray Hamlin, look at him. 6'1", 245 out of Oklahoma. Made a good move. They got Rafferty moved in at the offensive center position. We've talked about we've had injury. Robert Shaw moved in place of Fitzgerald. That gives you a little indication of what Irma was talking about, the overall depth that Dallas feels they have, both offensively and defensively. This is the 3rd center. Jim Cooper can also play center.
11th play of this drive. 2nd down and 11. Salvi in motion.
Oh, the clock ran down.
Clock ran down on them. A little slow getting the play off.
Get a shot of Tom, then you'll see somebody that's really happy.
They had that trouble in their final preseason game. They've avoided it pretty much in Washington and St. Louis, but it's a new system for Tom. He used to send the plays in a year ago, of course, with receivers.
Frank,
Number 11, offense.
Oh, Danny, you didn't mean to. As most of us know, coming to and from this stadium can be a very difficult situation. There's a lot of congestion in the traffic, and the Cowboys were a little bit late in arriving. And Hermel says, I was worried because Tom was smiling. Says, I don't know what that means. They didn't get here till about an hour before the game.
Second down, 15. Drew Pearson, top of your screen. Saldi in motion. Danny White. Drew Pearson, and he does not hold on.
Good
Mr.
defensive
Clutch,
play.
they call him. And this time, he cannot hold on in the end zone. It'll be third down and 15.
Did you see the protection he had?
He got good protection, and the ball's not really that poorly thrown, and Drew runs a pretty good route, so you got to look to us at why isn't it complete? That's pretty doggone good coverage. You look at Ray Claiborne, number 26. He's right there, and he's getting some pretty good help in a hurry from Tim Fox, number 48.
Ray Claiborne is, well, we may put on another Leonard Hearns match. Ray Claiborne and Will McDonough of the Boston Globe. They had a set 2 last year, you'll remember, each claiming victory, neither able to prove it.
Third and 15, it'll be shotgun for Dallas. With the 3 wide receivers. Gifted ones they are. White. A running room, but he pulls up after finding the receiver, Drew Pearson. He struggles forward, and Drew Pearson will get the first down.
Oh, real credit goes there to Danny White. That's terrific. Staying there in pressure. Nobody was open. From the shotgun situation, you see the guards come in, set for their position.
Let me ask you a question, Don. Would
All right.
Roger have run in this situation?
I think Roger would have run that situation when he first came in, but I don't think Roger would have run that situation the last few years he played, and I think Danny White had the advantage of watching Roger, as they say, grow wise with a few years.
In the meantime, White's 11 out of 14, and he's having an absolutely brilliant night.
First down, goal to go. The ball at the 7-yard line. This game tied up at 7. Movement on the right side of the Cowboys line. You'll see the flags fly. Could have been Jim Cooper, the offensive right tackle.
You got to go back in the huddle and say, okay, doesn't look like it, guys, but that's the break for us. We're down here in this below and inside the 10. It's hard to do. Give us another 5 yards. We can do a few more things out here outside the 10. Of course, that's maybe grasping for straws.
It could be that New England will not take the penalty.
Oftentimes, Frank, really, truly, it is so much more difficult down here. You've heard it explained so many times. You run out of field to work with. The defense can play a little bit more pressure kind of defense.
Illegal motion, number 89, offense.
Tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, illegally in motion. New England will let them keep first down. They want to move them back, which they do, to the 12-yard line. 10:50 remaining in the first half. Keith Lee, number 22, is in defensively in place of Ray Claiborne. Again, Dallas slow and getting the ball off. Dorsett back inside the 10. Down around the 8-yard line. It'll be second down and goal. Rick Sanford defensively there for New England. Tony Dorsett has become the 3rd leading Cowboy rusher of all time and rapidly closing in on Calvin Hill. Coming into tonight, he needed 126 yards to replace Calvin Hill as the Cowboys' all-time receiver, and he's done it basically over a period of 4 years. Every season, 1,000 yards plus for Dorsett. No one had ever did that before. Second and goal. White drills a ball into the arms of Saldi, and it is incomplete. Rick Sanford defensively there, as Sanford is being tested all over the field tonight.
And Saldi is some test. One of the most underrated tight ends in football, because he's not the starting tight end.
Another one of those free agents out of White Plains High School. Jay Saldi went down to South Carolina. Cowboys just keep pulling them in.
You know, though, Doug Cosby is the number 2 guy, and he was the one that was really closer to taking over from Billy Joe Dupree than it was Saldi. So you got 3 really good tight ends there, guys.
Third down, goal to go. Dorsett, single setback. Drew Pearson in motion. White, Dorsett one-hands it and then bobbles it. And maybe wisely so, as Roland James would have put the hammer Dorsett, and now Raphael Septian comes onto the field. If he can convert, and it's not much more than a chip shot, he will set a new Cowboy record of having kicked 8 consecutive field goals.
Well, we saw Buffalo miss a chip shot last Thursday night, and that turned the game for the Eagles, so you can't count on anything. But even so, a very big series of downs for the Patriots, because finally they did stop the Cowboys.
Septian also has been playing throughout the pre and the first 2 games with a pulled groin. Waters will hold. Rafferty's the center. 27-yard attempt. And Septian has set a new Cowboy mark of 8 consecutive field goals. And Cowboys move back out in front. They lead 10-7. We have 9:54 remaining in the half for Foxborough. Set to kick off. Raphael Septian. Tony Collins has dropped deep. He's back there because Horace Ivory, who led the NFL in returns a year ago, has a pulled hamstring. He can't go. But this youngster is explosive. Second-round pick out of East Carolina, Tony Collins. One of the Cowboys' goals, as Meredith pointed out, is to keep the kickoff return to about 23 yards.
No further than the 28. Let's see if they do it. They didn't. Yep.
And a little more than 23 yards.
Just about. The key guys are.
I want to remind you about Saturday. College football coming your way. Football regional action around the country starting at 12 o'clock Eastern. Boston College against North Carolina. Oregon State at Minnesota. Florida at Mississippi State. San Jose at California. That's the special time. 10:30 on the West Coast. And then the second half of that NCAA doubleheader after Wide World at a special time. A battle of the top 2 teams in college football. That's USC and Oklahoma, with the great Marcus Allen at USC against Buster Rhymes and Stanley Wilson of Oklahoma. Check the localistic of the game in your area. On 1st and 10. Kavanaugh fires out there to Harold Jackson. Jackson beats Steve Wilson. Very close to a first down.
Point Don was making on the utilization of the special teams in Landry's goals is embellished by the fact that Kurt Peterson and Spradlin are the 2 key people, presumably, on that team. Right, Don?
They're the guys that they like to have that wedge that comes down there and busts it open, as they say. You saw a good catch that time by Harold Jackson. Harold got 12 stitches in his chin. He showed me before the game from last week's game. I said, Harold, son, how long are you going to play this stuff? They can't run you off. He said, as soon as my stitches heal, you won't know anything. I'm as good as new. Looks pretty good right now, doesn't it?
There's your measurement as we take the shot from across the field. Axon, of course, the man you're speaking of, Don, the leading receiver active in the NFL today with over 530 receptions.
He really is.
Always there. That's the thing about Jackson.
Caught 4 touchdowns against Dallas one time when he was with the Rams. One of the great days he had for over 200 yards, I think it was, but 4 touchdown passes.
It's 2nd down and 1. New England at their own 33. They're down by 3 points. Katupu. It's a New England first down, out close to the 37-yard line.
The offensive line really fired off the ball that time. All of them got off just at the right count, and they really moved it out there.
Katupu comes out. Don Calhoun, Mr. Reliable. Not terribly exciting, but he is there, holds on to the football. Started all 16 games a year ago when Sam Cunningham set the year out. That is Don Calhoun, number 44. On 1st and 10, Jackson in motion. Play action by Kavanaugh. Hasselbeck is open again. And a beautiful shot. Hasselbeck thoroughly beat Charlie Waters. At one point, he had him by 4 or 5 yards, and Kavanaugh was right on target.
I'll tell you, when you've got a tight end who can go deep like that, you've got some weapon.
One of the things I think that confuses a team like Dallas is that offensive movement before the snap of the ball. You saw quite a bit of it then. The Cowboys were trying to adjust. Charlie Waters had 2 interceptions last week. He's lost a little speed. Here's a shot from the other side of the field. You'll see how wide open Hasselbeck is. Here's Charlie trying to catch up with him. Got that outstretched arm, just barely missed. Good offensive play that time.
43-yard pickup. New England driving again. Inside the 21-yard line of Dallas. Katupu slides away from one tackler. Big John Dutton gets down close to the 17-yard line. Guy Brown in there defensively for Dallas.
Tupu may be the most spirited player on the New England team. This guy is really intense, emotionally in every way.
Andy Johnson, number 32, can do a lot of things for New England. He comes in as a setback. He also, as look at Ron Earhart, the coach of the Patriots, Andy Johnson will also throw the ball. Now he's split to the left. Tupu, the single setback. Harvey Martin is there.
Good move by
Kavanaugh gets the ball off to Johnson.
Goodbye.
Down, and a great move by Kavanaugh. Harvey Martin was breathing all over him.
They may have called him down back there, Frank.
They may have said he was in the grasp of Harvey Martin. They give you a quick whistle now. That started a year ago, and they're going to bring it back, and these fans are not going to like it.
Not one bit.
Can't say that I blame them.
Neither can I.
Rule was put in to make sure that the quarterbacks would have maximum protection. When you're in the grasp of the tackler, you're the same as down.
I'm telling you, there's a good battle going on there in the middle. I just happened to notice with Randy White and John Hanna. They've got them a good one going. Hanna's doing a good job right now.
Well, this is going to test the character of New England. That's a very tough setback to take.
3rd down and 15. Jackson split up to the top of your screen. Out to the right is Stanley Morgan. Quick count. It's a reverse. Jackson's going to throw the ball. And that ball almost picked off by Dennis Thurman. It'll be 4th down.
They ran that play on a fairly quick count, and Dallas was trying to get in all of these other players. They weren't really set for their defense. Here's the play before, reverse angle. Let's take a look at it again. We can look for Harvey Martin to come in. Let's see what he does. There's big Harvey. He's in the grasp. Oh, boy, that's...
Well, I must say, on the other replay, you saw the referee, Jerry Markbright. He was waving his hands. It was all over before Kavanaugh threw it.
That's true. This fellow is not kicking well, Frank.
He's
Suddenly.
got a 3. He's been hurting. That'll never
There you
make it.
go.
John Smith, who led the league in scoring for the last 2 seasons, has missed once again for New England. He could have made a big difference in Philadelphia a week ago. The Cowboys have possession. Doug Wilson, producer, perhaps. Who knows? Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, Don Meredith, watching a good football game. The New England Patriots changing things up. Not a bad way to play, Dallas. Show them things that you haven't shown before.
But they had the mark of a loser in that last series. First, the official's call was proper, bringing the ball back on the apparent touchdown. Second, Smith continues not to be able to kick. Third, White Wheeler couldn't handle Harvey Martin.
On 1st and 10, Dorsett. Look out.
Look out,
This could be the distance. He has great speed.
He's gone.
Tony Dorsett. 75-yard touchdown run, a brilliantly executed
Is that
play.
pretty?
Great blocking at the line of scrimmage, and then Tony Dorsett just did his thing.
Oh, my gosh.
And to look at Ron Earhart, as you look at the end zone replay again, reveals Ron to be the most intense and worried man. And I said they had the look of a loser on that last series, and this proved it. If ever a team has to show character after that.
Blocks downfield. Great by their flankers, their outside receivers.
Started off with a great block by Herb Scott, Frank, 68. Then you had Drew Pearson out in front.
Butch Johnson.
Yeah, Tony just stayed in there behind as Drew Pearson, 88. That was a beautifully executed play.
Seption in an attempt to extend the Dallas lead, which he does. So suddenly the Cowboys are out in front 17-7. This man is very special this game, Tony Dorsett.
Welcome to the Bugle.
Less than a half, and Tony Dorsett, who led the NFL after 2 games, now leads the NFL in rushing after 3 games.
8.1 average per carry. That 75 yards helped that one, didn't it?
Utterly huge.
3rd longest run in Cowboy history. He has the longest at 84.
Did I have the 2nd longest? Do you have that book? Evidently not.
And he has one of 77. And he now has one of 75. Tony Collins takes the kickoff of Septian. Collins piled up out around the 25-yard line by Everson Walls.
Basically, they're meeting Landry's goals, the Dallas special team, on these kickoff returns.
They want to keep them no further than the 28-yard line. And believe me, that's all figured out. I don't know how they do all that sort of stuff.
I love that new hat.
Yeah, he's got a new hat. Well, he's very fashion conscious. Alicia, of course, helps him.
Dallas leading 17-7. Matt Cavanaugh, who has performed well tonight. Back again. This time going out to his wide receiver, Stanley Morgan, the intended receiver, back there defensively, a man whom the Dallas Cowboy coaching staff will tell you makes things happen, Dennis Thurman.
Now Stanley, who's been out with an injury, can run the fly. He can run straight. He'll have a problem tonight. He's not fully recovered, trying to hook and curl, but right there he should have had that.
I've seen him even call interferences on plays like that. You saw Dennis try to reach his hand back in. The ball was a little bit underthrown, but Ed Jones was the big reason for that. He was all over Cavanaugh as he threw it.
Two tight ends for New England on 2nd down and 10. The rookie Lynn Dawson from North Carolina State is in there with Hasselbeck. We get the run call. Tony Collins fumbles the ball, and Dallas looks as though they have recovered.
They can blow this game out of itself.
Steve Wilson recovers for Dallas, and they'll have super field position, 30-yard line, inside the 30-yard line of New England.
They can blow this game out right now. 6:35 to go in the second quarter. Two terrible mistakes by the New England Patriots. One with Mike Haynes standing there passively in the end zone as Butch Johnson stole the ball on what should have been an easy knockdown or intercept. And secondly, they were dispirited after they failed to score, and Dorsett took advantage.
Drew Pearson, 88. As we look at a single setback, Pearson now in motion.
The Miami Dolphins went to Houston, Texas, failed to join in the chorus of Love Your Blue. Uwe von Schamann had a great day. 3 field goals, total of 10 points. And on Houston's very first possession of the game, look at that, sacked by Bob Baumhauer. That young Miami defense is something. Bob had 4 in the day, the team had 8. Now, striking back in the second quarter, trailing 7-6. David Woodley with a clutch pass to the tight end, Joe Rose. Good play, set up a field goal. Miami led 9-7 at halftime. In the fourth quarter, Houston clinging to a 1-point lead. Miami's ball, its own 23. Andra Franklin, the rookie from Nebraska, straight up the middle. Good for 29 yards. That set the stage for backup quarterback Don Strock, who had a hot hand. Look at those stats. This throw to Duriel Harris, number 82. By then, the Dolphins were inside the 20. Strock kept them moving. Then this quick flip to Andra Franklin. Touchdown, the Dolphins, and their defense prevailed 16-10 over the Blues. Atlanta Falcons, led by a quarterback who has come into his own, Steve Bartkowski, playing with a flak jacket. Damaged ribs, you'd never believe it. Atlanta's first possession. Steve Bartkowski to Alfred Jackson, touchdown, a 29-yard play, 7-0 Atlanta. It became 10-0. Then Atlanta again, still the first quarter. Watch this, that little throw to Lynn Kane. You're not going to believe this run. That tackler avoided. Now, watch this evidence of balance. Hit by 2. Hand touches ground, hand touches ground. It does it for the 3rd time. Then bullying his way through that tackler, in for the score. And so it was 17-0 in the second quarter. San Francisco trying to strike back with Joey Montana, quarterback out of Notre Dame. Montana finding Charlie Young all alone, in for the touchdown, 17-7. The halftime score was 24-10 Atlanta. In the third quarter, Joey Montana, San Francisco threatening on the Falcons 6. Throws over the middle. The ball picked off by number 27, Tom Pridemore. He gets a sheath of blockers. Moves to the right sideline. Nobody going to get a chance to touch him. Makes you good to see a kid like Pridemore perform this way. He's a member of the West Virginia State Legislature. And after that 101-yard touchdown return on the intercept, he can get any bill he wants passed in that state legislature. What a return by Tom Pridemore. And so the score went to 31-10. But Bartkowski wasn't done yet. Watch this one. One of his favorite people to throw to, number 84, Alfred Jenkins. Now look, he can get up. Nobody touched him, and he does exactly that. Down at the 1, that sets up a field goal. Atlanta won it 34-17. The San Diego Chargers, who have proved they can be awesome, went in to face a tough Kansas City team led as always by their great quarterback, Dan Fouts. Kansas City hurtled to a 7-0 lead. Fouts quickly struck back. That pass to tight end Kellen Winslow. It was 7-7. Still in the first quarter. Fouts had only just begun. He's looking for the rookie from Auburn, James Brooks. And if you want to see a brilliant running rookie, watch number 21. Cuts back past that would-be tackler. Now, watch, the blockers seem to fade away in front of him. He is hit there and hit by 2 tacklers there, but breaks the tackles. This is a kid who never gives up. He has a way of squirming and twisting and eating up the yardage. Now watch Kellen Winslow take care of Harris. In for the touchdown went James Brooks. And so it was 14-7 San Diego. It moved up to 21-7 in the second quarter. But Fouts wasn't through yet. Watch him drop back. He's looking for Eric Sievers, number 85. And throwing in his impeccable style, right to Sievers, touchdown, 28-7 San Diego. It was 28-14 at halftime. And Kansas City wouldn't quit. They fought back to 35-31, which it was in the fourth quarter. Young Kenny out of North Colorado throwing. The ball intercepted by Leroy Jones, number 68. Watch him. Lateral, Gary Big Hands Johnson. Touchdown. San Diego goes on to win the game 42-31. The Chicago Bears playing host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bears winless, needing a victory. Vince Evans with that throw. Deflected, and Mike Washington, number 40, picked it off. It was an easy jaunt into the end zone. A 7-0 lead for Tampa Bay. It became 7-7 in the second quarter. A minute remaining in the first half. A punt by Tampa Bay. Now watch this. That's Jeff Fisher. Watch him run left. That's the spot to cut back. Find that quick hole, burst through it, accelerating. Then follow your blockers, cut to the right sideline. And you'll go all the way, just the way Jeff Fisher did. 88-yard return. Beautiful downfield blocking as you saw. And so the Bears were ahead 14-7. In the third quarter, it became 14-14. Bears ball first and goal. Look at that draw by the quarterback, Vince Evans, a fine, versatile athlete from USC. 21-14. Became 21-17. But Chicago, after the field goal by Tampa Bay, struck again. Evans right there to David Williams, number 22. The Bears won it 28-17, their first victory. So they feel they're Look at that. Look at the way New England came back, especially in yards passing. The total yards almost even. Dallas slightly ahead in time of possession. A simply terrific football game, but with New England making the key mistakes. And you can't overlook that.
This man, spectacular. 75-yard touchdown run. Did much of it on his own. Great blocking, however, at the line of scrimmage. Not bad stats. 6 more. As I told you earlier, he'll become the second leading all-time rusher behind Don Perkins, replacing Calvin Hill. Both teams coming into tonight were New England. They had lost their first 2 ball games. They lost to Baltimore. They lost to Philadelphia last week. Dallas, meanwhile, beat Washington 26-10. They beat St. Louis 30-17. Dallas 12-4 last year, tied with England, rather Philadelphia. They lost in a tiebreaker in the playoffs. They beat Los Angeles, Atlanta, then they lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship. New England 10-6, Buffalo winning their division with an 11-5 mark.
No Worthley, and this goes back to our opening of the telecast tonight. New England has not been able to contain Tony Dorsett, but they've handled the fearsome front 4 of Dallas. Cavanaugh getting superb protection. Frank.
Septian hits it for Dallas. Tony Collins from the 5-yard line for New England. And Tony Collins out close to the 30-yard line. Taken there by Anthony Dickerson. And we anticipate Matt Cavanaugh's return with Calhoun and Collins, although they have been alternating setbacks. Stanley Morgan has been a factor, and a big factor, in the lineup as wide receiver, number 86 for New England. He's been out for several weeks with a sore ankle and a knee. Harold Jackson is back in the lineup, and Don Hasselbeck. He had 3 big receptions for 93 yards for New England. 1st and 10, New England. They're at their own 27. Calhoun, right side. And Calhoun met first by big Ed Jones, who has been the defensive MVP in both the Cowboys' early games. Charlie Waters also helping out.
Number 72,
Calhoun will come out, and Tutupu, who is seeing a lot of action tonight, comes into the lineup. Tell you again, Sam Cunningham signed his contract. He reported 1 week ago and started working out. Not available, however, tonight. He's been out of the game for a year. Morgan, foot left, as is Jackson. Hasselbeck, number 80, bottom of your screen. 2nd and 8. Wide open is Jackson. Down the sideline, Jackson. To the 41-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys, splitting Michael Downs.
Frank, New England's been picking them apart all night. Cavanaugh getting superb protection. Receivers wide open all over the place as you look at it again. But they have not capitalized. And up till this point, that's the key.
There's Downs making the stop, and it was good pattern run by Jackson. Ball well thrown by Cavanaugh. He's having himself a night. Carlos Pennywell is in briefly to give Jackson a breather. Ball near the 41. Cavanaugh back quickly. Fired and complete. Tony Collins. To about the 38-yard line. Nearly a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Guy Brown defensively for the Dallas Cowboys. There he is. He's big, 6'4", a 228-pounder. He has had a lot of little injuries that maybe the Cowboys felt should not have kept him out of the lineup. He got his opportunity to play when Mike Hageman suffered a broken arm against the Washington Redskins. 2nd and 8. Draw play. Tutupu. And Tutupu with a big opening. He'll go in. Oh, there are no flags.
Well, what a move.
38-yard touchdown run. Great acceleration at the line of scrimmage on a little quick draw to Tutupu.
You've got to think when you see a play like that something happened to the middle linebacker. I really don't know. I'm sure we'll see it again in a minute. Caught the Dallas secondary into a double zone. All right, let's see what happens to Bruning. Right in the middle. Pretty good standoff there on the outside. Anna's doing a good job on White. Bruning gets caught in the middle, as does Dutton. Charlie Waters comes in, hits, bounces off, and he runs.
Memo to Dick Vermeil and Carl Peterson. Stop calling Bucko Gilroy. You're not getting Mosey Tutupu.
We have a new leader. The New England Patriots is John Smith. Splits the uprights. And the Patriots are on top. Nearly 21-17 on a very fine run of 38 yards by Mosey Tutupu. A capacity crowd of 61,000 plus is loving every moment of it. The New England Patriots looking for their first win of the season. Set to kick off. There's James Jones for Dallas. Mike Hubach They put it in the air for New England. An electrifying run by Tatupu. Jones from his 10-yard line. And out to the 30-yard line. Closing down on it. Lynn Dawson. Let's look at that draw again.
Another look in the middle. You got Pete Brock coming in from the center position, but a good block also. Oh, they've got Dutton in there pretty good shape. Charlie Waters came from his strong safety. That's just not a very good tackling position. Both those safeties and the cornerbacks were into a double zone on both sides, so Charlie had to make a little move from the outside to come in, but basically missed it.
The offensive unit of the Dallas Cowboys back out on the field. They've been able to spring Dorsett. They've been able to hit Ron Springs. They've been able to hit Tony Hill and Butch Johnson. Now they trail. White on first down. Fires a complete to Butch Johnson, and Johnson is out of bounds up over the 35-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3.
These two teams really have offensive firepower. Neither has shown the capacity to stop the other. There's Mosey.
He's had a night.
I don't understand why he's been played so little the last 4 years, Gift.
They've been saving him for this game.
Second down and 3. Drew Pearson, number 88, top of your screen. Out of the eye. Short handoff, Ron Springs. Line of scrimmage, squeezes out a yard. It'll be third down and 2. Rich Bishop on the bottom of that pile. Big number 64.
Bishop, one of 4 holdouts a year ago. An excellent nose guard.
He's been seeing a lot of action for Ray Hamilton. Ray Hamilton hurt in the preseason with a bad ankle. Bishop moved in at nose tackle. He can play at the end. He can play at the tackle. Right now, they stay in a 3-4. 3 tight ends are in. That's Saldi in motion. We have Dupree and Cosby also. Ron Springs. There will be no first down, and Dallas will have to turn it over, and this New England Patriot team is really goosed up.
They're fired up now, and look at those fans. They've been waiting a long time in New England, and they know the season is young. A win tonight puts them at 1-2 if they can do it. That's not going to be easy against a great Dallas team.
Tom Landry in his 22nd year.
He's not above being a little itchy, is he?
Now, is he the only coach Dallas has ever had?
Mm-hmm.
There's Roland James. Danny White will punt. A strange question. Roland James. No fair catch indicated. Dallas saying they have the football. There's a scramble. New England says, no, we haven't. Roland James would have been better advised to have gone for the fair catch as New England turns it over.
Absolutely. A team with a capacity, as they proved tonight, for the key mistake. Again and again and again.
Dallas has certainly had the swing of good fortune so far tonight. Very easily, New England could have another touchdown on the board, as we saw a fumble into the end zone right before the half.
The first down is inside the 20-yard line at the 19.
They've got a little razzle-dazzle play. It's a good position for them to do this. They've got these wide receivers that can throw passes. Will reverse. Green pass could come up anytime.
Back into the pro set, now back into a wing set with Dorsett, and now in motion. They show you so many things. Ron Springs. Opening on the left side is Springs, showing you the strength and power that takes him to the 15. Gain of 4, it'll be second down and 6. This Springs has really developed for Dallas. They got him cheap. They got him in the 3rd round. Or actually, he was the 5th round draft pick. He had led Ohio State as a junior, was hurt as a senior, slipped by a lot of folks. And Ron Springs has turned into a superb football player. He's a backup man also to Tony Dorsett. Second and 6. Ball at New England's 15-yard line. Springs, another big hole. Springs inside the 10. Close to a first down. Bill Matthews defensively first there for New England.
There's Mackovic. We'll see the signal in a moment.
That's the call. Of course, how much like baseball, some of them are dummy calls. It's less than 1 for the first on 3rd down. Robert Newhouse comes into the lineup, his first appearance on the night. He lost his job in training camp when he pulled a muscle and Ron Springs developed so rapidly. Saldi, Newhouse. Newhouse turned back. It'll be 4th down.
Now you got to wonder, Newhouse just barely made the huddle. I mean, he's the guy they gave the ball to. I wonder if he knew that was his play they'd call. Well, he did. He was the last man out there. He hadn't been here all night.
And
got a man down.
New England Patriot. Tim Fox.
Oh, they can't afford
free safety.
That's true, and what a spirit. And they're showing a lot of resolution out there tonight as you look at Timmy Fox and his vital statistics. Now lives here in Foxborough, but grew up with our own Steve Fazekas in Canton, Ohio. Did you know that, Frank?
Absolutely. Tim Fox, one of the many players acquired by New England in the trade of O.J. Simpson. And he is being attended to by the medical staff of the New England Patriots. We'll remind you again this Saturday you'll be seeing NCAA college football. It'll be regional action starting at 12 o'clock Eastern. Boston College will be at North Carolina, Oregon State and Minnesota, Florida, Mississippi State, San Jose, California. That's a special time at 10:30. As we can see, Timmy Fox is in pretty good shape. The following Wide World of Sports at 5 o'clock Eastern, the second half of our NCAA doubleheader. Oklahoma and USC, and how about Marcus Allen out of USC? 210 yards in his first game, 274 yards against Indiana. Last Saturday, he only carried 138 times. Only kidding. He carried it 40 times, though. He's 30. Dallas is choose the field goal. They'll go on 4th down, a full yard. Saldi in motion. Dorsett, easily the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal to go at the 7.
Kind of reminds me of the old days of Oakland. They like to run left, and so does Dallas over Pat Donovan and Herb Scott. 2 Pro Bowlers, and you see Dorsett saying, wait a minute, something pinched my elbow.
So Dallas threatening. Roland James would not go for the fair catch. Bobbled the ball. Dallas recovered the fumble. And now they have a 1st and goal, and Timmy Fox, we are glad to report, is back in the game for New England. Drew Pearson right. Brooks Johnson left. James Jones, number 23, gets the call over the right side. He's piled up and maybe squeezes a yard out. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
James Jones, the ball carrier, has been plagued with a few injuries this year also, but you saw him run in that time as Tony Dorsett did go out.
A minute ago, I mentioned as part of the O.J. Simpson trade, we were just in Buffalo, by the way. It was Jim Pickett. And they got a lot for him. They got Pete Brock out there. They've got Tim Fox. They got Ray Claiborne and Horace Ivory, all for Plunkett. And he was traded to San Francisco. 2nd down, goal to go.
Put it in the air.
On Springs, getting closer.
They're not paying any attention to you, not Howard.
It'll be 3rd and goal to go. The ball inside the 2, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WFAA Television, Channel 8, Dallas-Fort Worth.
And if you've just joined us, Dallas got the scoring underway in the 1st quarter. They led 7-0. England came back with Don Calhoun to tie it at 7. Septian put the Cowboys ahead again in the 2nd quarter. Then Tony Dorsett went 75 yards to make it 17-7. We're looking at a 21-17 game now. New England in the lead. 3rd down, goal to go. Danny White, man wide open. And if Billy Joe Dupree, no one even near him.
That's called stacking it against him, man. Nobody was there to cover Billy Joe. An unusual call, had a motion going the other way. Danny rolled back towards where the motion came from. You'll see it here. I think this is Cosby coming into motion. A little fake into Springs, rolls out. Nobody there. That was Ron Schultz that had Little shot at, maybe that was Schultz's man, as a matter of fact. He's the linebacker on that side. Schultz was in there trying to hit Danny White, didn't make it.
Thing they do, Dupree blocks down for just a moment. The safety thinks run, takes his eyes off. Dupree slides in behind him. That was perfectly executed. Septian for the conversion. And Dallas says regain the lead with 7:29 remaining in the third quarter. The Cowboys back out in front, 24-21. Good action. Stay with us.
Here we
go. They move 19 yards following the Roland James fumble of a punt, which he should have called for a fair catch and did not. Tony Collins is deep. Raphael Septian. They put it in the air for Dallas. Or almost in the air. Low line driver. Collins one-hops it and is on his way. Now to about the 29-yard line goes Tony Collins, and you have to wonder, without New England's mistake, this would be an entirely different ball game.
Be a runaway for the Patriots, but they make the mistakes, and Dallas is an opportunistic team. Brilliantly coached, grasping every chance.
Matt Cavanaugh. Good night for Cavanaugh. New England from their 29-yard line. Collins 33, Calhoun 44, setbacks for New England. Cavanaugh again with good protection and an open receiver, Stanley Morgan. Dennis Thurman, man-to-man on Morgan, and Morgan was there, and that ball was well thrown.
And New England has met one challenge tonight despite their mistakes. As you look at Stanley and ISO, they have really contained the Dallas pass rush.
They really have, and I think that's the real key. Howard, he's really having a lot of time to throw. And Thurman, they've got some inexperience back there. Even in Thurman, he hasn't been in that long, so they're really working on man-to-man.
Ball near the 48-yard line for the first down. Harold Jackson, top of your screen. Patupu, this time piled up as Big Ed Jones closed it down from his defensive end position.
Not that time.
Eddie Lee.
Ed Jones. Was he a pretty good boxer when he took that year out, Howard? Well, that answers that.
I wouldn't want him to go 3 rounds with Sugar Ray Leonard, despite his size.
Get a broken kneecap. Kneecap of about a yard and a half.
He'd get water on the knee. That's what Ali almost got when he fought Chavallo in Toronto.
Why did I bring it up?
I don't know.
Second down. Cavanaugh. And no receiver downfield, and Cavanaugh steps out of bounds.
Don't you think he may have made a mistake? He had 3 red shirts out there.
I thought he did.
I think he could have made some more yardage that time.
It's the first time he's been out of the pocket all night that I can remember.
Loss of about a half a yard. So it'll be 3rd and long. Not a good situation against the Dallas defense.
Very big situation for the Pats.
3rd down and 11. Hasselbeck comes out as we have 3 wide receivers. That's Jackson, 29. Stanley Morgan, who's been a factor tonight, a big one. Number 86, and Westbrook is number 83. From the shotgun. Going deep is Cavanaugh. Stanley Morgan, who is running as if he is not troubled at all with knee and ankle.
Cavanaugh threw that one way too quickly. He saw the blitz coming from Dallas. They picked him up, but he just got a little bit nervous in his throw, threw it too quickly. Did give the pattern a chance to develop.
New England hunting for their first time tonight. And James Jones settles in at the 10.
Kubach. What?
Mike Kubach was terrible in preseason, almost lost his job, but he's been good over the past 2 games. He's had a lot of practice, I guess I could say. This is Jones. Jones with a risky maneuver. That is 15, gets out to the 17-yard line on a 34-yard punt by Hubach. Not a bad punt. The Cowboys will be deep in their own territory when we return to Foxborough.
Simon and Garfunkel's phenomenal reunion.
Back in Foxborough, seesaw game. Made so by the fact that New England has been playing superb football, fired up, but they've just made the mistake. A couple of them forced, however, by Dallas. A couple of fumbles. First down and 10. Dallas at their own 18-yard line. They show you, oh, so many formations, and you have to think about each and every one of them. Pearson in motion. Dorsett, stutter, then the acceleration. And Dorsett is the second all-time leading rusher for the Cowboys as he gets the first down out over the 35 to the 37, where Mike Haynes was there defensively for New England. Oh, does he move around?
Good little false start to one side. You'll see him coming back out to the outside. That was Cooper, I believe, that was in the lead. Now playing off of Thrill Hill's block. Picked up a few more yards before Haynes moved in there and picked him up.
Do you believe that Steve Nelson, the best tackler of New England, didn't even slow him down?
That's right. Missed him.
First and 10 Dallas. Their own 37-yard line. White. Yeah. Tony Hill. A surgical job now being applied by the Cowboys right in front of Rick Sanford. Tony Dorsett, 129 yards against St. Louis, 132 against Washington as we watch Tony Hill once again.
Back out of Rick Sanford. If you remember, they've really been working over in that area quite a bit tonight. Not saying that Sanford is bad, it's just that when they're looking at what the other choices are, they really have tried to isolate him as much as they can. Hill didn't play a single down in preseason, so he's getting off to a late start.
142 yards thus far on the night for Tony Dorsett. We had 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. First and 10. That's Pearson in motion. This is Dorsett. This time, no chance at all as Ray Hamilton slid off the block of Rafferty and made the stop right at the line of scrimmage. Great statistic on this young man. 10 straight years. Now you're going all the way back to high school. This man has rushed for over 1,000 yards. This year he seems to be a much more dedicated player. His best game ever is 206 yards. And he has, as I said, 142 tonight. Second and 10. A man is open. Springs out of the backfield.
How about that little one-hand catch?
Not shabby.
Nice throw, but also a nice catch out there. Pretty good coverage. Straight drop back pass. Looking at Springs out on the outside. Schultz trying to follow him in there. Good move by Springs to reach out and bring that ball back in.
He has become exceptional. Springs really has. Great development.
Mike Hawkins instead of Schultz, I'm sorry.
Cowboys 24, New England 21. Third down, long 5. Out of the shotgun. Inside handoff. This one does not work and almost bobbled. Ron Springs with a good effort to hold on to it. It'll be fourth down.
What a play by Tony McGee. He read that so perfectly.
He either did or he got off the line real slow. I'm not sure which one it was because they ran right into him and he charged upfield. He saw it coming.
Yep.
Moved back in the inside. Had that ball been dropped, of course, that would be a forward pass. Incomplete pass.
Tony McGee's going in on his own. Remember over the years his team with Mel Lunsford makes a big play for New England. Mike Haynes drops. There he is. Danny White looks over the situation. This time he'll angle it to his left. And Danny White catches one at the 11-yard line. Good punt by Danny White, who says, one day I would like to lead the league in passing and punting. Sammy Baugh did it, 41 and 43.
2 million.
We hope you are enjoying our 5th game in 16 days at the start of the 1981 NFL season. And next Monday night, we'll be in Chicago for the Bears in Los Angeles. And the Rams, of course, they'll have to get their act together. And a different act it is, because Atlanta is off to a great start. They're 3-0. Bears winners yesterday. On first and 10, Kavanaugh with a handoff to Calhoun. Calhoun runs into a peck of trouble out on the right side. Harvey Martin representing most of it, getting help from Everson Walls.
Closed the hole quickly, abruptly, Martin did. Looked like Calhoun might spurt for some decent yardage, but not with Harvey.
They had the two wide receivers flanked out very wide that time, trying to spread that Dallas defense, but you both have called it. Harvey cut it off before he had a chance to get into that secondary, the linebacker position.
Give Calhoun 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Kavanaugh with the time once again. Was it a possession? No. Ruled incomplete. The official facing the play indicated an incompletion, and now they could be reversed.
I think
that was Stanley Morgan. They'll talk it over.
Shelby Jordan was quick to get in there and argue, and I think he's right. I thought it was a completion.
It's basically a new rule, or explaining the rule of possession on a reception. You used to have to be able to do something common to the game on the reception. Not anymore. Once you show possession and you drop it, you've lost it.
Well, I don't really think I understand the rule, Vince. So if one of y'all do, tell me about it. Now, he catches the ball. Is he supposed to take a step with it?
They called possession in the first half on Andy Johnson just before the end. Look at that. I think it was the same thing as the Johnson play, with a different call.
It appeared to me that he caught it, then the ball was knocked out by the defensive back.
Exactly right. Same thing that Benny Barnes did to Andy Johnson just before the end of the half.
Academic, incompletion, 3rd down and 7.
Academic to you, kid. Not to New England.
Well, I was just trying to get back to the game. Out of the shotgun. Of Tony Collins, the ball was well thrown.
And there's nobody around to defend that. Somebody really screwed up.
Incredible the way New England fails. Well, they're just victimized by their own mistakes. They've got receivers wide open. They've had them wide open all night.
Hubbard was kicked once tonight, not effectively. James Jones at midfield for Dallas. They could have good field position once again. 1:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dallas over New England, 24-21. Hubbard hangs it up. Jones, and he bobbles the ball as flag now goes down.
I'm going to guess that.
They could have interfered with his right to catch the ball.
I think that's it, Frank.
But it looked like his own man was driven into it.
Did he cover the fumble anyway?
No, and I thought New England recovered it. There it is.
Against New England. Well, you have to let him catch the ball. And it'll be marked off against New England. We'll get the official phrasing from Jerry Markbright.
I know it's only the 3rd quarter, 1:39 to go.
Interference with the opportunity to make a fair catch. Number 62 on the kicking team. 1st down.
Dwight Wheeler.
But the string runs out. No team can make this number of mistakes and expect to win.
Ron Earhart really exercised now on the sidelines. And Dallas, field position. They're at the 33-yard line of New England. They lead by 3. Tony Dorsett, single setback. Saldi adjusts to a wing spot, number 87. Here comes Dorsett. Steve Nelson defensively there for New England. Dorsett inside the 30-yard line, close to the 27.
That's a play that I think the defensive coaches could say, we have that play defensed about as well as we can defense it. And then all of a sudden, he picks up 4 or 5 yards.
He does that. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, the pursuit was there. They played it well. And nevertheless, he gets 5 yards out of it.
He's averaging 9 yards a carry, slightly over it. It's a great football game.
That blocker in front, by the way, 67, was all-pro Pat Donovan. 2nd and 5. Ron Springs. Springs has the 1st down. No, they will mark it back. And we'll have third down. A little more than 2. And we're in the final minute of the third quarter.
Tripped him up back there. His knee touched, and he was down there. I think he got it, jumped up and lunged forward for that. Third down and 2.
Passing down, at least from the personnel in there for Dallas. Butch Johnson, 86. Tony Hill, 80. Drew Pearson, the 3 excellent wide receivers. It's Tony Hill way up there at the top of your screen. Danny White, Ron Springs, gets away from Nelson. And this time he does have the first down as time has expired in the third quarter. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. That is the end of the third quarter. The score, 24-21 Dallas. We'll return for the fourth quarter. But right now, this message from our local stations. That's the story. As we begin the fourth quarter, the Dallas Cowboys leading 24-21 over New England. New England with 2 losses in the early season. Dallas with 2 victories. Dallas has a 1st and 10. The ball at the 21-yard line of New England. Tony Hill split far to the left. Drew Pearson to the right. 2 tight ends are in. Saldi and Dupree. Saldi, 83. Another 87. Danny White dumps it out to Dorsett, and Dorsett goes down in the arms of Mike Hawkins.
Hawkins was lying in wait for that. Third quarter stats. Look how close the first downs are. Yards rushing, Dallas the big edge. Yards passing, now the big edge to New England. Total yards almost even. The turnover's the key. Time of possession important, but the turnover's the key, representing the proliferation of New England mistakes.
With a 2nd down and 18. The ball back at the 29-yard line following the loss. We're going to cover it from the end zone. Dallas figures to put it in the air. Danny White is back. Trying to get off a screen, and the screen man could not get open. It was Dorsett who got tangled up with his little fake block. One of the New England Patriots got an arm on him far short of a first down. And it'll be third down and approximately 11 yards. New England has played good football tonight. They're playing a very tough team to get ready for defensively because of all the formations and all the sets. They have played well. They have given up yardage, but most teams will to Dallas. And we'll cover it again on third down and long yardage from the end zone. Get the view of Tim Fox, the free safety. Going deep for Pearson. Incomplete. Mike Haynes was back there.
Well, you got to give it to New England. Again, they showed character. Dallas desperately wanting the touchdown. Look the end of the play, Don.
Okay, from the other side of the field, we use a reverse angle, and you'll see pretty good effort on both these guys' part. Pearson's trying to come back, get in front. Didn't quite hang on to it, actually. Ball was intercepted by Mike Haynes on the ground, but he was out of the end zone.
Septian has already kicked one from 26. This attempt will be from 40. Phil Waters holds the ball for Dallas. Rafferty snaps it. This time, Seption's string of 8 consecutive field goals misses. So New England, they stiffen. And they are in this ball game. They trail by 3 as we are just getting underway in the fourth quarter. New England will take possession. 1st and 10. The ball at the line of scrimmage. The missed field goal attempt outside the 20. The line of scrimmage will be the 22. The Seption string of 8 consecutive broken, but he did set a new Dallas Cowboy record of 8 consecutive field goals. Kavanaugh having a fine night. Lays one up, and it's there too long. Everson falls and picks it off.
Does that kid know where to go?
We told you about him earlier. 3 interceptions in preseason.
Led the nation in college last year at Grambling.
What's interesting is that finally, I think they've come up with a great cornerback. Through all the years of Dallas excellence, as we look at the end zone replay, the only great cornerback they had was Renfro. Adderley came late in the game to Green Bay. But look at this kid with a nose for the football. And he may be the answer.
His second interception of the night, and the Dallas Cowboys now will have a first down and goal to go at the 8-yard line of New England.
And he was a free agent.
Local boy out of Dallas, Texas, went to Richardson High School.
Fifth turnover for New England. Fifth.
Danny White changing up. And he better hurry. He gets it off. And very ineffectively.
I'm telling you.
I don't believe that.
Dorsett and White, one of them did the wrong thing.
Dorsett could have been hurt on that play.
So could White. It's one of your basic foul-ups. You saw him try to change the play. And evidently, that audible didn't quite work out just well. That's right. At least they got on the ball.
Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, it's really awful. Because a lot of times it's your fault. The quarterback calls the audible, then turns the wrong way.
There's a squeak in the well-oiled machine after all.
That's right.
There's a loss of 6. Second down, 16. Draw play.
That's the play they had called.
Set. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, big play now.
Third down and goal to go. Steve Nelson defensively.
You sometimes get the feeling that Dallas outsmarts themselves. They got so many things that they do real well, and every once in a while you see them try to get a little bit too cute.
In the last series, the dump-off pass to Dorsett when he was covered like a blanket. And earlier, the shovel pass, you remember?
Yeah.
They lead 24-21 and threatening. Third down, goal to go. That's Pearson, wide receiver in motion. Danny White throws into a crowd, incomplete. Dave Haldy is back there, and now Septian will trot back out once again.
Well, you've got to give New England credit again. They're hanging tough. I don't think Ted can miss another.
Septian has missed from 40 yards, has hit from 26. This one, another 26-yard attempt. Charlie Waters to hold. Splitting the uprights. And Dallas has extended their lead, but not a comfortable 6 points. We'll be returning to Foxborough in just a moment. The New England Patriot defense has stiffened once again. This time Dallas settles for 3. They lead by 6. 27-21. That's Tony Collins. Septian. Collins takes it at the 6. Good play. Will go down at the 15. In the arms of Anthony Dickerson, who's always down there on those special teams.
What a play that was. American League Finals. The Red Sox stay red hot. Detroit beats Baltimore. Rick Waits comes alive, shuts out the Yankees. Oakland, Toronto postponed. Minnesota running away from Western Division leading Kansas City. Texas over Seattle. California ahead.
And here comes New England. They need to start moving the football. Their defense has been on the field too long. And, of course, they need to stop making the errors. Kavanaugh checks off quickly. Comes out to Collins. Collins negotiates his way down to the 18-yard line. pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
The National League, 2-0. Look at that, 0-0. The 16th, Steve Colton, the National League all-time strikeout record tonight. What a game. Bucks and the Mets in extra innings, tied at 3. Cincinnati, San Diego, tied at zip, 5th inning.
Matt Cavanaugh having a fine night. We got Stanley Morgan back in the lineup tonight, and he's made a big difference. His speed makes the Cowboys change their defenses considerably. This time, big Ed Jones is all over Tony Collins, and there is a loss.
Notice
back to inside the 15-yard line.
Forgive me, Frank. Notice in the clutch how Dallas is now making the plays that they weren't making through the first 3 quarters.
There he is. He is having a great year already. He's coming off the best year ever when he took that season of '79 off to go into boxing. Here's one of our guys that has been traveling all over the country with us. 5 games, 16 days. 3rd down and 10 for New England. Cavanaugh has to hurry it. A man is there. It's Jackson. And it's 1st down New England out to the 44-yard line as Matt Cavanaugh was in trouble, and now a flag is down. I believe we're going to have holding against New England.
I tell you, New England has not had a lot of breaks tonight.
No, you can't. It's just disastrous. Every critical mistake. Cavanaugh moved up in the pocket. He was being rushed, held together, threw a decent enough ball. The receiver's getting free all night. How long can a team remain staunch?
Interesting move right there. Saw Thornton come out, and Harvey Martin told him to go away. I don't know what that means.
Number 75, offense, 3rd down.
Bob Kreider, right guard, holding. Cowboys moving back half the distance to the goal. Clock stop with 10:30 remaining in the game. New England down by 6, 27-21 to Dallas. Cavanaugh out of the shotgun. 3rd down, long yardage, 17. Ed Jones chasing Cavanaugh. You have to get it away.
That's illegal.
They'll call that one.
Now, wait a minute.
And they're saying safety if he was in the grasp of Ed Jones as he was earlier in the game, and that's what they're saying, that he was in the grasp. That's the same as a sack.
Intentional grounding
from the end zone.
In the end zone, number 12, safety.
That's the rule. Cavanaugh desperately trying to get it away. That'll be 2 points, Dallas, and New England will have to put it in play from the 20-yard line.
End zone replay.
I thought Jones might have had his hands on him.
Well, he was getting awful close. They're moving into the inside.
But all game long, Frank.
Larry Bethea, that was the man back there also.
Bethea and Jones, both there.
All game long, New England contained the Dallas rush. When it counts most, now they can't do it anymore. They're getting in. Jones, Martin, Bethea. And what a critical 2 points that was. A touchdown could no longer do it for New England.
Hubach will put it in play with the punt. Jones is deep for Dallas, which is not very deep because New England must put it in play from the 20. Hubach. Fine kick. Jones takes it at the 26. Gets it back to the 40-yard line. Dallas, good field position.
If ever a team desperately needed a Dallas turnover, it's the Pats right now. Quite a night for Mr. White, huh?
21 out of 25.
Well, he was 21 of 29 last week. Dallas will play the Giants Stadium. Bill Sims of the Giants had himself a big day along with the defensive unit of the Giants. And Dallas will be there next Sunday. Dorsett. Terrific block by Donovan out in front. Dorsett up to the 49-yard line. Gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1. I want to remind you, Nightline will focus tonight on the controversy over President Reagan's plan to sell AWACS, the reconnaissance planes, to Saudi Arabia. Guests will include President Reagan's National Security Advisor, Richard Allen, and leader of the fight against the sale. That's Senator Alan Cranston of California. That's tonight on Nightline.
May I just add, Frank, again, we'd like to express our pride in the fact that Mr. David Brinkley joins ABC News, the official announcement tomorrow.
2nd down and 1 for Dallas. They now lead by 8. Dorsett stacked up short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Julius Adams there first. And Dorsett, who sometimes is very slow getting up, is extremely slow this time.
I promise you, this is like second guessing. I'm looking out there, and I said, man, they're running him a lot right now.
Being treated by the Dallas staff. Looks like the wind may have been knocked out of him. They usually lift those knees up to help this.
Let's take a look on the other side of the field from the reverse angle and see if we can see what did happen. Didn't make any yardage. They stacked it up pretty well in there.
That's Peterson out in front of it.
Yeah, it looked like he almost had his knees or his ankle or something went out of it trying to cut there.
Mark Boobin came in there, number 63 for New England. And we'll be returning to Foxborough to check on Tony Dorsett and more action after this. There was much concern on the part of both the Cowboys and the New England Patriot fans as Tony Dorsett walked off the field on his own. And they appear to be checking his chest. But Tony Dorsett walked off. No knee or ankle problems apparent. Meanwhile, he lost a half a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and a little more than a yard to go as the New England defense has played superb tonight. Out of the shotgun. Andy White, and wide open is Butch Johnson for the 1st down. Inside the 40-yard line of New England. Butch Johnson having himself a big night. 3 receptions, 47 yards, and of course the touchdown.
It's really a little unusual. They didn't have it about a yard and a half to go to see him drop back in that shotgun. It shows you how much confidence Dallas does have it. How in the world Butch Johnson got that wide open, I don't know. You saw a lot of that nickel defense, the backs, the 5 backs in there. Evidently somebody just released him to the middle and no one picked him up.
Could have been the loss of Dorsett that forced him to the air because Jones came in for his first appearance. This is Ron Springs. Ron Springs over the left side. Moves inside the 35. Gain 6. 2nd down 4. They're still checking on Dorsett. We'll try and get a report. We'll have it to you as quickly as possible.
I tell you, you don't want to see a guy like that get his wheels hurt. And I thought he limped off a little bit from that picture we showed you a moment ago. It looked like maybe when he tried to cut that either his knee or ankle gave out. It's hard to say, but if it's his ribs or something, that's better than his wheels. He's got to run on those wheels. You can tape up those ribs.
Dorsett, 163 yards tonight. We don't know whether we'll see him again. He had 132 in the opening game against Washington, 129 versus St. Louis last week. It's 2nd down 4. 8:04. The clock is moving. And there's a foul up somewhere, and Danny White tried to sneak a timeout before he loses 5 for exhausting the 30-second clock. And flag did go down.
Yeah.
It'll be marked off. Danny looked up, saw the seconds ticking off that 30-second clock on the scoreboard, tried to hustle in a timeout. He did not do so.
Delay of game, number 11, offense, 2nd down, no charge, timeout.
Why do they blame that on the quarterback?
Well, he's the one that's supposed to get it going. Yeah.
So we'll get it to me a little more quickly. 2nd down and 10 now, following the delay of game penalty. Bruised ribs, twisted right ankle for Tony Dorsett. And they did appear to be much more concerned with the bruised ribs. They were not paying a whole lot of attention to an ankle, but you're right, he did limp just a little bit the first 2 steps when he walked off. Second and 10. Jones. Hey. James Jones, first down around the 23-yard line. And they just keep coming at you.
That gives you.
No question about it. After all the mistakes, finally New England has broken down.
Well, this is an indication that Tony Dorsett's a heck of a good runner, but somebody's doing a pretty good job blocking up there, too. That's the same play we saw Tony run a while ago. They start to one side, little counter move back. Delayed move, that hole opened up real well. Going back to that left side again. Good blocks on the left side of the line.
Herb Scott and Pat Donovan, both Pro Bowlers on that left side. Donovan just recently having signed a new contract. First down and 10. Ball at 24-yard line. Seconds ticking away for New England as Ron Springs on the right side. Hammers out 4 yards down to the 20-yard line. They'll give him 3. We'll call it second down and 7. Ray Claiborne defensively there for New England. Raphael Septian will loosen up his wheel. The only Cowboy that isn't homegrown, by that I mean either drafted or signed as a free agent by Dallas. They had no one that played with anyone else other than Septian, who kicked for LA a few years ago.
Well, they got that trade with Dutton. You know, they got Dutton.
That's right, they did have enough
Baltimore. But you're right, they like to do it themselves. There he goes again.
There it is. But they hit the playoff, and it's Doug Cosby, the tight end, coming around, getting the first down just as the 30-second clock expired.
You see that guy? He's a player, too, and a very fine one. He's the one who moved ahead of Jay Saldi out of Santa Clara.
Well, Saldi, who's been playing most of the night, he limped off a little earlier.
6'6". You see the size of that guy? Yep. 6'6", 230.
Great receiver. The clock keeps winding down. We're inside of 6 minutes now.
Dallas will use as much time on that clock as they can as they tick it off once again. Danny White can see it. Draw play. Springs to the 10-yard line on the first down call. Gain of 3. It'll be second and 7. And Tim Fox, who was shaken up earlier, shows you the anguish of a team that really knows they are so much better than their record.
They really came into this game with great confidence. And when you look back on the game, the whole story is written in their mistakes, taking nothing away from Dallas, which played the way Dallas does. Brilliant execution, sees every opportunity.
Butch Johnson is split left, Drew Pearson right. On the second and 7 call. James Jones, 23, stays in there for Dorsett. Quickly and intended there for Drew Pearson, covered by Ray Claiborne, incomplete. Not a typical Monday night for Drew Pearson. His 2 best games ever occurred on Monday nights. Back in '74, he caught 10 for 161. That was against Philadelphia. He caught 9 against Buffalo for 135 and 76. He's had to share the action tonight. Special teams come out for both clubs on 3rd down and 7. Dallas has their 3 wide receivers. Johnson, 86, Hill, 80, Pearson, 88. And we'll operate out of the shotgun. Less than 5 minutes remaining to play. And White had to hurry a pass in the direction of James Jones. 4th down, Septian will come on.
Well, if Raphael hits, it'll be an 11-point edge, but that doesn't really reflect the closeness of what has been a very, very exciting game. This is a real challenge for this Cowboy team. New England was tonight. Cowboys lived up to it. The whole game turned when Roland James mistakenly failed to call for a fair catch on a punt. New England had gone ahead. They had stopped Dallas. They had the momentum, and that's when they blew it.
In fact, they stopped Dallas on the very next exchange following the kickoff. And they got the ball back at the 28. And Septian has hit from 28 yards out. An 11-point edge for the Dallas Cowboys over the Patriots with 4:49 remaining in the game.
Sometimes I don't want my kids.
We told you that next Sunday the Cowboys will be at Giants Stadium in New York. And next Sunday the New England Patriots will have to go in and take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who pulled their act together rather convincingly against the Jets yesterday. We're going to watch this from the end zone as Tony Collins looks upfield to Raphael Septian. Collins from his 8-yard line. And Collins with a fine run back all the way out to the 39-yard line. Steve Wilson defensively.
Going to be very hard for this team to regroup for the rest of the season. They still have a lot of players. Cunningham appears to be working very well. He'll be joining them, and yet they're already 0-3. And how do you come back from that?
Well, the Pats will go to Pittsburgh next year. Next week they'll find out. Look out.
Oh, almost picked off. Guy Brown would have had clear sailing into the end zone had he been able to hold on. Intended for Calhoun.
He really would have. That was just a walk on through. Those little lame ducks you throw out in the flat sometime that the quarterback says, I want that one back in a hurry. And Guy Brown should have had that one. Pretty good pressure coming in there. Like Harvey Martin. Ball's not thrown with a great deal of zip. Guy Brown just a half step off. He'd have had that, would have been all the way.
I want to move the Giants-Cowboy game back to Irving, Texas.
Let's do that.
I'll put it in Giants Stadium. They'll be in Dallas next week. Not a very good place to visit. Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Cavanaugh under pressure and is picked off. Dennis Thurman. Thurman returns it to midfield. That's going to happen when you're trying to play catch-up.
That's one of the first times, too, that Randy White has really put any significant pressure on Cavanaugh. You can see that Hannah's been doing a pretty good job on Randy. That's 2 All-Pros. See, right in the middle, there comes big Randy. Harvey was on the outside. He just threw that one way up, up, and away, my beautiful balloon. And leading right into Turn Out the Lights, the party's over. It was over a couple of plays before that, of course.
6 turnovers by England tonight. And that was one of them. This man had a couple. We'll be back in a moment. The 6th turnover by the New England Patriots, and Dallas has the ball at midfield. 32-21, very close football game. And had there not been the turnovers, but that is so often the case, New England would have been right in the game and perhaps on top. On Springs with the 45-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
He's become one of the more impressive players in this league.
He has it all. A good receiver. He's really applied himself this year to blocking. When Newhouse was hurt in training camp, well, Ron Springs just grew by leaps and bounds. 3 touchdowns he scored last week against St. Louis. He's in there now with James Jones, number 23. White on 2nd and 6. Springs turns it up. Stops the clock at the 37-yard line with another Dallas first down.
Does it all, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Whichever way you look.
He can play both that fullback spot and the tailback spot.
And he's a sturdy guy, very durable. Why not? He's got good size, excellent size.
1st and 10, 37-yard line of the New England Patriots for the Dallas Cowboys. 3:36 remaining in the game. Remind you again, we'll be in Chicago for the Bears and the Rams a week from tonight. Pearson put out to the right.
You could see Sweetness run for those Bears. Sweetness go.
That's Drew Pearson in motion. And this is James Jones. And he is whacked.
14 of the last 15 years. We told you earlier these Cowboys, oh no, don't take it out on your team tonight. They made mistakes. They beat themselves, but they played gallantly. There goes Tony.
Ice on the right ankle and ice on the rib cage.
Bruised ribs and a twisted ankle.
Isn't that straight? Because he really didn't get, you see him hit much harder than what we saw that.
14 out of 15 years in the playoffs. That continuity of excellence traces to ownership, front office, and coaching.
6 times in the Super Bowl, twice a winner. Saldi back in the game, and they work it out. Danny White in a lot of trouble back there at the 41-yard line.
That's a new play they've developed. That's twice in the 4th quarter.
Danny, look at it. He says, oh, you got to be kidding. Yeah, will you give me a break?
Lost at 5. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
You know, looks like Dallas is going to win this game, but they've really made some pretty big mistakes, and really should have made more and more scores. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Timeout has been called by New England. They have 2 remaining. Danny White will walk over, have a visit with Tom Landry. I told you earlier about all of our fine engineers who have been traveling around the country with us over the past 16 days. Executive producer of ABC Sports, of course, is Roone Arledge. ABC's Monday Night Football, produced by Bob Goodrich, directed by Chet Forty. Our technical director, Joe Chavio. Our associate director, Joe Chavo. Our associate director, Bob Rosberg. Technical manager, Coach Coltrane. Our unit manager, Lenny Nathan. Assistants to the producer, and they've been busy. Robbie Cowan, John McGinnis, others assisting, Joan Campi, Patty Ryan, and Sal Johnson. 3rd down, 15. Danny White springs. He holds on inside the 10 for another 1st down at the 9-yard line.
That's a good throw. He reared back and let that one go right on a string. Got Springs running pretty wide open right down the middle, but look at Danny throw this ball. Whoo!
Oh, and his spiral's pretty.
That one stayed tight, didn't it? Got down there in a hurry. Nice throw.
Spirit's gone out of the Patriots now. That's clear.
Clock starts, and we will get to the 2-minute warning. There's a lot of spirit in those 2.
A lot of spirits. That's plural.
And the Cowboys will let it tick down to the 2-minute warning. Tom Landry, old teammate of mine in my youth and his senior citizenship. We'll be back at Foxborough with the final 2 minutes in a moment. Crowd of some 61,000 showed up here tonight. They saw some fine football played by the New England Patriots, a team that is far better than their record, which will be 0-3 after tonight. And they'll have some hustling to do to catch, well, number 1, the Miami Dolphins. They're 3-0, Buffalo's 2-1, Baltimore 1-2. And New England and the Jets will both be 0-3. This is Jones on 1st down. Line of scrimmage. Seconds ticking away. And New England will use another timeout.
That's it, isn't it?
They have 1 remaining.
1 remaining.
Cowboys have never lost to New England. They've only played
1:52 remaining in the game. There's the conversation on the sideline with Tom Landry. John Makovic, we've told you about, coach from Wake Forest in his 1st year with the Cowboys. And, of course, Don talked earlier at the beginning of the game with Ermal Allen, who works high up in the stadium, communicating with the Dallas bench, as, of course, do the other coaches. The defensive job produced by Ernie Stotner of the Dallas Cowboys. And for Ron Earhart, well, what can we tell you? You've seen his face over the night. It's been a very frustrating first 3 games of the '81 season. On 2nd down, the handoff is to Jones.
He almost could have scored there. He got tripped up. He made that 1 step right over that line where that initial action occurred. He could have walked in.
This time, the Patriots, with 1 timeout, choose not to stop the clock. Dallas letting the seconds tick away.
Whole thing's academic. I don't know why they'd even want to stop it anymore.
And Danny White is going to call timeout. Actually, he used all the seconds on his 30-second clock, and with 1 second left, used his timeout. Now he can start the clock again with another play from scrimmage. Good call.
I think something happened, though, Frank. I think he didn't like what he saw out there.
Oh, the Mets did it again. The magic is real, and it's back. 4-3 over the Bucks. San Diego leading the Reds, still in the thick of things in the National League West. 1-0 in the 6th.
Danny White over talking with Tom Landry. As we told you, in his 22nd year, trailing only George Halas now in Curly Lambeau in number of victories. As we look at
that
more scores.
Frank, that Philadelphia-Montreal game may be one of the more remarkable baseball games yet played.
What is the longest one? Weren't the Mets involved in
Houston and the Mets back in 1968.
24 innings.
I would have bet someone would have had an answer.
No, well, we've got it right here.
Oh.
Yes, it's here.
3rd down and 8. Patriots now with 1 timeout.
That wasn't a delay of the game.
No, that's not a delay of game according to the 30-second clock on the board.
Dallas is in a situation right now where I don't think they're really trying to add insult to injury. They know they've got the game won pretty well, but at the same time they've got to be competitive. And something's awfully sloppy right now. I guess that's what they called the timeout for. It seemed that people were throwing things out on the field, and the referee blew his whistle. So let's knock that stuff off, folks. We're going to get this thing over here in a hurry.
And they put 30 seconds back on the clock for the Dallas Cowboys. Remaining in the game. Again, 3rd down long. Ron Springs nailed by number 85, Julius Adams, and it'll be 4th down.
Appear to be a little motion out there. The flags are down, and the motion appeared to be against New England.
Offsides, New England.
It's ending in the sloppiest possible fashion. It's kind of sad to see people peppering the field. The Red Sox remain hot, clobbering Milwaukee. Detroit stays up there over Baltimore, and Cleveland shut out the Yanks, who have suddenly lost 3 in a row. Oakland, Toronto postponed. Minnesota did beat Kansas City.
Offside, number 55, defense, 3rd down.
And Texas defeated Seattle. California may finally win a game. Gene Mock can't believe what's happened to his Angels.
3rd down, goal to go for Dallas following the offside penalty. We'd like to thank our stats and research man, Jerry Klein. Spotted, we've already mentioned, from Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame town, Steve Bazika. Jones gets a block from Springs, turns back into a lot of red shirts.
And New England says we're going to call timeout.
That will be it for New England.
That's it.
And it'll be 4th down. Seption is ready to go in.
Yeah, Tom's going to take the 3, and why not? It's the thing to do. He should try to score again.
No, I don't believe he is.
No?
No. Keep in mind, too, it is a factor, one of the factors in the tie-breaking system, the number of points down a high, well, it's way down on the list. Tom is also kind of a sympathetic person. He's not going to roll it up if he can avoid it. He's leading 32-21.
And there he is.
Now, he's in there, and that's
second thoughts. That's exactly what they should do.
That's the right thing to do.
Might have had second thoughts. Danny White was chewing the fat with him pretty good there.
Public's entitled to see every team at every moment expend its best effort. regardless even of the point-scoring system.
It's Charlie Waters to hold. Raphael Septien on for what appears to be a field goal attempt. 25 yards. Septien is hit from 26 and 28. And he hits from 25. Less than a minute. And New England will be 0-3 on a young season. Miami is 3-0. Buffalo 2-1. Baltimore 1-2. And we will be in Chicago next Monday night.
You talk about a team in disarray. The things happening in Los Angeles have been unbelievable. And with their personnel, it's astonishing that they're 1-2. But they did put a victory together over Green Bay, which can be a difficult opponent now. And maybe they'll be ready for the Bears, who put their thing together against Tampa Bay.
Come from behind win yesterday on the part of the Rams over Green Bay. Good defensive effort. Pat Hayden was shaken up. We don't know the extent of his injury. Bruised ribs, being told. Jeff Rutledge came in for them, threw a touchdown pass, and they say that Pastorini is working out.
Yep. And they say that Malavasi and Klosterman are at odds over whether or not Pastorini should be signed.
Now, if we just knew who they were, huh?
Oh, it's going to be fun in the Windy City. You see Danny White's stats, 24 out of 34. That's not bad.
Septien drills it along the ground, taken by Hasselbeck. Gets it to the 42-yard line. New England has no way of stopping the clock other than with the incompletion or stepping out of bounds.
Montreal beat Steve Galton in Philadelphia. Steve may have been out of there when it finally ended. 1-0. What a game. That's it. You already sang it done. Earlier,
I can sing it again.
We talked about Dallas's continuity of excellence. You got a glimpse a moment ago on the sidelines of Gil Brandt, and he's one of the reasons. That man,
Kavanaugh fires to Collins. Collins is taken there by number 57. That's Angelo King, who was just recently activated. He'd been cut. As a matter of fact, in training camp, Tom Landry brought him back in when Hagman was hurt, because he knows the system. Gain of 6, second down and 4. Kavanaugh back again. Flag is down. This is Andy Johnson with 29 seconds now on the clock. Emerson Walls defensively there for Dallas.
Everson Walls, a reflection of what I was talking about in Gil Brandt. Few, if any, are better. There will be the standings in the NFC East. And in 2 weeks, we have Philadelphia against Atlanta in the city of brotherly love. What a game that should be. And there's the AFC
Illegal
East.
motion, number 73, offense, second down.
I don't know how Schuler and Arnsparger do it, but together they work miracles. And we'll have Miami, Buffalo in 3 weeks. So we've got quite a schedule coming up.
Illegal motion, 5-yard penalty. It'll be second down and 9, 29 seconds remaining in the game. Kavanaugh will be out of the shotgun. Dallas has 6 defensive backs in. They're spread all over the field. And Guy Brown will get the interception. And Guy Brown is thinking offense. He steps out of bounds, stopping the clock.
He almost got one a moment ago, if you'll remember. That one would have been for a touchdown.
He has great speed. He really does.
You're going to see it. Dallas was really giving him that short stuff. Kavanaugh didn't really have a lot of pressure back there, but you just can't keep your eye on all of them. Trying to go to Hasselbeck. Guy Brown moved over from his linebacker position. And you're right, thinking offense. Wait a minute, I'm going to stop the clock.
So 7 turnovers tonight for the Pats. No way you can win under those circumstances.
And once again, it'll be Dallas at home next week against the Giants, and New England will travel to Pittsburgh. Anyway, we'll do the little fall down, and this game will be history. Dallas remains undefeated for New England. It has all the trappings of an extremely long year. Danny White looking for someone to say nice game. He finds the man that maybe made it all possible, Roland James.